Alrighty, and welcome to This Week in Jump. I'm Turo.
And I'm Ryan. And this week we're going to be going off of my list. And
Woohoo.
this week is actually going to be rather long, so we're going to break this up into probably three different parts.
Yes. We have a couple new series entering the fray, and we have some opinions. We have some very strong opinions.
Oh, on which ones will probably be ending in the coming weeks.
Yes, we're going to go on that in the third part of this,
Yeah, probably like right after. Like that'll be like the closing discussion.
most likely.
But we are starting off with number 17 this week, so there's actually quite a few. Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs. This one is the fan service chapter after we haven't had a lot of fans. We've had little fan service throughout the Kyoto field trip. But this one focuses purely on everybody who hasn't been around, who's been hanging around the Uragi Inn. So the cover picture literally shows them eating these melon treats. Little did they know that these melon treats actually increase their breast size via poison. And it's a little awkward when you have rather young, just young characters walking around with larger chests. They're like, "Oh, look at my chest! I feel
Yes.
like an adult woman
It,
now."
yeah, it's a little bit inappropriate for
Western audiences.
for Western audiences. Maybe not so much for younger readers of the actual magazine. But it's excessive to say the least in this chapter. I would call this a filler.
Yeah, filler fan service chapter. That's why I say like it was purely just to get a lot of the Ichi scenes in there, because almost every single page is filled with it. It's actually rather comedic that you have Koyuzo, who's normally like extremely flat chested, walking around saying stuff like that.
Yeah, some actually happy now. Oh, it's not transformation. It's just my time to bloom finally. Just happened very suddenly.
All at once.
Yeah.
But the only way to cure, or at least remedy the situation while they are all there, is to massage each
Massage,
other.
grope. Yeah, it's not yourself. You have to have someone else do it for you.
Yes. And even then, the effects are only temporary.
Yes.
So they wind up having to do this until they can be rescued by Yuna, who's able to disable it. This is all because of the landlady. We've had the landlady give them all of these cursed things or just souvenirs that she just happens to have. So it's not like completely out of the ordinary. I mean, these are spiritual beings, so like weird stuff can happen. So overall, it's enjoyable. The artwork's good.
It is, but usually in filler you get a lot more jokes. You get like this one was just fan service.
Yes.
I remember a lot of other series that have filler,
True.
but even so, their characters developed, or even side characters developed in some filler episodes, in some filler chapters. I
Um,
didn't really get that from this.
I was gonna say, or maybe they'll reference this later, and maybe that'll give it a little bit more purpose.
Maybe.
So that's why I kind of gave it a little middle of the road thing. Next on my list was the continuation of one of the newest series, the last Sayuki,
Hmm.
chapter 2, number 6, rank 16 for me. It it still doesn't feel like it's for me either, and I'm assuming that it's going to go somewhere later down the line. But for right now, I can see why he wants to do why he why he feels trapped, because his dad pushed it off on him and wants him to basically save the world,
Hmm.
keep the world free of harm because she has the powers that she does. He actually takes it out on his dad, but he comes around and realizes that if he shouldn't be acting the way he is because it's selfish. He needs to think about her feelings more than his own. But we do get introduced to the power system of Mu,
Hmm.
which is basically just a box that apparently is like inside of people. It's almost like how you had in Hunter x Hunter the Nen, which gets released.
In World Trigger, you have the
Treon.
the Treon, the squares inside of people. That is essentially their another power source.
Yeah, how like Chica had like a huge amount of power.
Yeah. So it's not something that's a foreign concept for some series.
It's kind of like Pandora's box. Like literally, like once the box is opened, it can't be closed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's kind of what they're drawing on here. And it was nice to see him actually go into the storehouse, and he was able to figure it out immediately. Oh, she probably went in there, a place where I wouldn't want to go. Like that was like that's why I put it higher than the fan service chapter.
In this chapter, one of my biggest things is I still don't know what kind of series this is. Is it horror? Is it mystery? Is it battle?
It's kind of tone all over the place, you mean?
I really don't know. For some series, you can clearly tell from the first couple of chapters, oh,
Battle manga,
horror
manga,
yes,
etc.
This one, I'm still unsure.
Well, it ends on a cliffhanger where he's obviously going to fight this entity that gets recreated because he's fearful because they close the doors again. It's completely pitch black. But his dad said he'll rescue him if he needs to.
Yeah, and his instincts are on the money when he is able to stop an attack
That he
just
can't
immediately.
see.
And I can, relating to another series, One Punch Man, you can be a hero, you can be a protagonist with just a baseball bat.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
So
you can.
I can see that style with a pole arm or a bow staff. I can see that working.
I was thinking that the pole was like the power pole from Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
How it just extended by the dad and then it came back and retracted. I don't know if it is or it isn't. I thought that was kind of like an homage to that. And next we have We Never Learn at number 15. It has a nice color spread. I did like the interaction of her when she answers the door in her towel.
Oh.
There's the complete she lets him in afterwards. She gets changed and is wearing appropriate clothing. And then they're sitting down together, and he's just like, "I need you to
take off your clothes."
Take off your clothes. Just
like
Naruyuki has no.
Excuse me.
He needs to work on his way of phrasing things, and it shows in this chapter.
Yeah.
Just like he doesn't know how to interact with women very well, despite as much interaction as he had. He always gets what he's saying misconstrued.
Yes, I would say he has a lot of experience with women and teaching them, being around them now, but I do not think he is able to really
get his point across.
Just like me right now.
Just like people finish their other
sentences.
Yes, exactly.
I almost said sandwiches.
I was going to make the joke. I was like, say sandwiches, do it. But them actually going to the ice skating rink, and the fact that he actually went out of his way to play music, which was actually from the student from the previous chapter, who was playing it live on the phone, and actually pursuing that in an indie band.
Still doing it because she wants to. Even though it might not be a career now, she's still working on it, still striving for that. That really got me when the video showed the previous student. That really got to me. Also, I like Naruyuki not being able to skate immediately.
Oh yeah, just completely falling. Oh yeah, I just thought you could give me a private lesson and I'll get better at skating.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, oh, I thought you wanted me to give a private lesson, and then she looks like extremely gorgeous, and she's red because of the light. So much blushing. There's so much blushing in this chapter. But, I mean, she's still young. The previous student, makes the joke, and she's playing on the piano the wedding bells theme.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're both
Here
like,
comes the bride.
No. Yes. Dun, 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 dun.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes back to school, and she has the typical straight face, the ice cold look that she has, but after she sees Naruyuki, she actually smiles, and he can't help but blush at that.
Yeah. You have made an impact on someone who had a reputation, so that when you make them smile, you make them happy. Of course you're gonna blush. Of course you're going to be happy and nervous.
I'm honestly surprised. Well, I'm not really too surprised that she picked teaching. I'm just surprised that I guess she valued the opinions of other people just that much more. And I guess she just needed that little nudge. Because she obviously wanted it more, so she went for it originally, and she was just doubling back on it. And then you have the ending part where she is called by her sister. No, she calls her sister.
She calls her mother.
And then calls her mother at the end.
Yeah.
And says that I'll try and make time to go out and meet you guys.
Yeah, and to not cry about it. Like she can tell over the phone that she's.
Well, she hasn't talked to them in forever.
Yeah.
So she was just, I guess, assuming that they were still disappointed in her for being a teacher, but I guess that's not the case. They just wanted to have interactions with their daughter.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. No matter how much you quote unquote went against their wishes, that your parents are still going to care about you. At least that's the message of the end of this chapter. Good moral message. I did like that. Next we have number 14, Hell Warden Higuma. Is that controversial in your opinion?
I mean, yeah, I still like it. This chapter was some insight on Higuma, and I like that. I like to know a little bit more of how they think, how they work, and I didn't get the answer I was expecting, and I like that.
Okay, what were you expecting out of Higuma, or out of Higuma, or out of somebody else?
I was expecting out of Higuma a little bit more, like a training montage, starting very low, kind of like in the sense of justice or wanting to be stronger, so that this doesn't happen to other people, like his friend, so young.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be a little bit more of that, but we got essentially a brainwashing camp to get rid of those kinds of feelings, to work in these instead of this is your essentially job, is to get rid of these things, to get rid of these demons and put them in their place.
Mm-hmm.
Really has no place, or
emotions have no place.
Emotions have no place. And I like that so much more than a righteous way. This is a immoral way to train a child. He is a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really like that.
You like that he isn't just your stereotypical do-gooder, or he has an extreme sense of justice. You like that he's kind of gray in the sense that he's doing it because it has to be done, more so than he wants it to be done. I could see that. That's why I didn't put it like the bottom. I did like how we went back to showing the guy who was smoking under the tree, showing his full face, and not just seeing a shadowy figure. And then we also have a brief scene from Higuma's past where there's like a fugitive spirit that is like crying like weird tears, and he's just scared of him, like on the ground on his back.
Tears what, but also you can see that was attacking someone. You can see some hands, you can see some blood.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's the one that killed his father.
Could be.
And
or it could be that he was sent out on an early mission. And he couldn't save someone.
That's also true. And apparently that one went rogue.
Yes. Well, seems that they get stronger the longer they're in hell.
And they get abilities based on their method of torture.
Yes.
So is it waterboarding or is it like acid? Because it looks like it just melts this other fugitive spirit.
It looks like it's acid. And the guy who was smoking, uh, I Lord Engetsu, we did not need a silhouette. They could have showed his character and would have been fine.
Yeah,
We
I
have.
guess they're still building him up.
I guess, but we really
Didn't
get
need
anything.
it.
There was no need to hide him, other than maybe he wasn't so sure on what he wanted him to look like drawing wise.
Oh, okay. So they were purposely vague.
Maybe. In that case, I understand. If it was intentional of kind of a reveal, like still a little bit too early to do those kinds of reveals. If we're doing a
Yeah, it's kind of weird that this new villain has his face obscured.
yes, but this one actually has a purpose. This one, in the because of the tail or the rat tail
It looks like hair.
hair,
Yeah.
we saw that in the flashback.
Mhm.
So this might be
The same
much
one.
more in the same one, and it have a significance with its eyes. So I can see why its face would be obscured at this point.
Fair counterpoint.
Okay.
That's about all I got to say about that one.
Makes me sad. It's so
What?
low on your list.
It
Not a lot happened.
Not yeah. I was gonna say not a lot happened. That's why I'm still reading it. I don't feel like it's a chore, so I still like it. Like none of the series that I'm reading currently for these lists are a chore to me. So that's good.
Yes.
Number 13, Neolation. I put that a little bit above because I like Brother Ta.
Brother Ta is a great character, right? The writing for him is just great. I like it. He has a lot more depth to him than I originally thought.
Yeah, I thought he was a one-note character that had just a vague passing interest in Daigo's sister.
Yeah. No, it goes much deeper than
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by that. And I mean, they could keep doing that for like every other character that they introduce, and then just have these backstories or these like little flashbacks that show that these characters are more layered than that. And it's funny because you think of a street racer, you think of them like as a completely like immoral person. They're bad.
Yeah, like
they're technically a
thug,
criminal.
Thug.
Yeah,
They are criminals
Yes.
because they're
street racing is illegal.
Yeah, street racing is illegal.
Don't do that, kiddies. And yeah, just having they call him the sleeping boar that he's awoken because he's closing in, but of course he has the perfect program, Boogie does, to keep staying ahead. But
And drive optimally.
yes, which means he cuts basically. I keep comparing it to Mario Kart, but it's basically time trials where you just keep trying to cut corners as much as you can. I actually sometimes do that when I'm driving. Not supposed to, but I'll still take the inside curve, like one of the diagrams in this. I've done that before. It saved me a couple seconds. Not like I was doing it for time trials, but yes. So because of that, he has knowledge about that mountain because Brother Ta's been doing it so many times and for every different season.
Yes.
Boogie has only been doing it since the spring.
Yes. And when your car is driving for you and your path is predetermined, you know exactly when they're going to be, so any changes to the track, you know exactly when a mistake might occur.
But he doesn't know about the leaves,
Mm-hmm.
which Brother Todd does. So he winds up skidding and going into the guardrail. And that's the time that he actually is able to pass him and utilize the computer program to pass him, and then there's no way for him to catch back up. And Boogie just admits defeat after trying a little bit, but he knows that he's beaten. There was nothing he could have done because he has the perfect program. He has the same one as him. It's
You'll never
impressive
catch
just
up.
how quick. Yeah, it's impressive just how quickly Neo was actually able to implement that into the car.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that, I'm assuming that this track isn't that long. It's probably like a 4 or 5 minute drive down the hill, max. So I'm guessing that we're gonna see in the next chapter a reveal of the Beast organization, or what Boogie's relationship is with Gerv or Gev.
Yeah, I'm really interested because he looks like Boogie lost. Like he does look defeated. He does have the like puff of like a sigh of relief. But I'm really interested in if he's going to be attacked, if he's going to be shot by
Oh,
the
for
Beast or
losing.
yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
also don't know what the Beast organization is gaining from Boogie right now.
Maybe pays like dues or something. That's why he does gambling. Maybe.
Maybe,
Don't know. Speculation.
but
Speculation.
Neo and Brother Ta winning is going to help reclaim this area.
Mm-hmm.
I am really interested in what kind of information Boogie will reveal.
Yes. And this will be continued in part 2.